Good afternoon. Yeah. Welcome to the Digital Society School Showcase. It's a tongue breaker, and I'm very proud to welcome you once more to the showcase, where we are both serious about transformation, but at the same time also are very serious about having fun. So that's what you will also experience when you walk through the space. There's a lot of activity, engagement, experience to have fun, but at the same time the topics are very serious, and this is what we are all about. So today is really our time to shine. I should have moved. So the online audience, hello everybody, is in Hopin. I'm not sure how many people do we have online, Irene?
We're still not sure. That's still warming up.
All right, warming up. So here we are already fully packed. So I'm very excited about that. My name is Marco. I'm part of the team at the DSS, and I usually work with the trainees that are coming here from all over the world for 6 months or 5.5-ish to work with us on these transformational challenges, incorporating design, technology, and social innovation. And I always enjoy working with young people, younger people, because actually our medium age, I think, is around 30-ish. So we're not your typical student group. And that's also what makes it important for us to really have this multifaceted group of people from different cultures, different disciplines, different age groups. So without having to tell them that they are old, because I did that last time. Irene told me off. So younger people in the house. Big round of applause for our trainees who are all here. They worked so hard in the past months, but also in the past days, which was really stretching their, humor and also their energy. So I want to reflect a little bit on our topics. My son got a telescope this Christmas, and that was really nice because I was never so interested in that, but now it really got me. So we started looking at the universe, and then he asked me so many questions. I had to reflect on the vastness of the universe. And I remember reading about that, and also remembering that it's almost impossible for people, when you're not studying it, of course, seriously, to really comprehend what the universe is all about. And this is also something that we experience, I see in the media, in the news, but also in conversations with people, that it's almost incomprehensible to really grasp the challenges that we are facing currently, like climate change. So we are kind of hardwired as human beings to really just understand things that are up close, in front of us, local, next to us, things that we live through. And that's something, one of the first things that I think I want to highlight that we do at the Digital Society School. We make things very local. I wouldn't say hyper-local, but we work with local partners to really get these larger challenges, such as the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, which are top of our list, to really pin them down to a local challenge, which is the start of a transformation. And that's the second thing. I think people are kind of almost impossible for them to really comprehend also the amount of challenges that we are facing. So what we also do is really share a vision for that. Because I remember, I wrote it down, in 2006 already, Al Gore, in a very nice book that was designed around changing the planet, he already mentioned that, and he quoted the Bible. He said, without vision, people will perish. And I think that's also what we see. So without a real shared vision, we will perish, because we are not really able to tackle that amount of challenges. Third thing that we are doing is, I think, and McKinsey did a big research on how successful transformation is usually in organizations. And I have to tell you that 70% of transformation projects fail. Not ours, of course. But at the same time, it shows that it's a big effort for companies to really invest in this. And they also, in the same report, they mentioned that you have to go all in as a company. You have to completely invest your time, your money, your resources in transformation. Otherwise, it will fail. And that's the third thing that we do. We ask the partners to really invest time and money, but also invest attention. So the real focus should be on us together on the project and on our trainees. So that's what we try. And that's what you will also see, and that's what you can experience by asking questions how that works. So I want to welcome you to the Digital Science School Showcase. It's tongue breaker, I told you. But I also want to welcome already the first batch of trainees and partners to the stage as partner. Welcome. Can you go to the back and can you sit in front? Then the second team is Team Engage. Janet is joining us from Team Engage. Yes. And Ruben. You can go here, Ruben. Yeah. Ruben Lochjes. And then we have Team Captain.
Good.
Captains on board. Kiran. And Carlo. Carlo is from TAU. Ruben is a colleague from the university. And you are from Voetbar. You're welcome. It's so nice to see you here on stage. I want to start with the first team, Team UG.
Yeah.
With you, Hervé. What would you say is the biggest takeaway from this experience?
Wow.
What will you take? And where you're from? So where will you take it home?
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Joseph Hervé Balanke. It's always a pleasure for me to be on stage, and today it's an honor for me to be here on the account of the UD team for our showcase. I am originally from Cameroon. Have been here for the past 5 months for this project, the program. My big takeaway from here is the collaboration, working together, sharing of ideas. Because you, as Michael said in the introduction, we come from different parts of the world, with different background, with different skills. Mm-hmm. And in my team, particularly, we have tremendous individualities. We have a designer, you have people who had experience as Peter, who has been a manager with HP for 10 years. We had a process engineer as Antonia, and then you have myself, who is good about criticizing and controversial about everything. So the big problem, so we have good individualities, but the main issue that we encountered was to integrate all those ideas, and then that is my take home from this project. How to collaborate with the partners, from people from different backgrounds, to embrace their culture, their way of thinking, in order to achieve a goal.
Nice, thank you. Yeah. Elias, I want to then continue with you because you were a partner. How was that for you to partner up with us, with a very diverse group? And also, obviously, we will see what the project was about. What will you take away then, apart from the result of the project, to Voetbar, to the organization?
So thank you very much. It's also an honor for us to be there today and to discover all the different projects, and of course also the project of the team. We think that what was so nice is that the environment that they worked on was pretty close to how we worked at Voetbar. So a lot of people from different communities working on a project, being very close to their users or new users, to have some insights, some feedbacks, and lead a project from the beginning to the end. There are a lot of ideas, of course, and sometimes you have to focus on one way. So I think the environment in that they worked are so similar of the environment that we are working in France and in the world on Voetbar. That was so nice, and of course the collaboration, the communication between them and us was pretty nice, because it helps them, but it helps also us to get some new ideas, to see and discover a new face of the app and of Voetbar. And of course you were talking about vision at the beginning, to have the same vision, that's so important, and I think that was the main points that are pretty nice for us and for them also.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So you see, these are not in-depth interviews, but what we will do now is to tease you to go to the booth where they showcase their work. You will see now a short video that will introduce the project. Score. Thank you so much. Second team. Let me see which one is on. Janet, I want to ask you about your experience. Very similar question. Where are you from and what will you take home?
I'm from Nigeria. The experience for me, I would describe in one word, transformative. I came here as a result-oriented person, but I then learned, and I think together with my team, how to fall in love with the problem. So for me, what I'm taking away is using creative thinking to design interventions or prototype, as well as using storytelling as a strong tool to present whatever we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice. And then I go to Ruben Lochjes, who actually tutored and coached the group of trainees. But at the same time, you're also representing the Koninklijke Bibliotheek here, the partner.
As well.
How would you reflect, try to put their hat on, how would you reflect on this collaboration from their perspective?
Well, I think the team did an amazing job to really understand in a short time span what the issue was about. It's about data science, citizen science. It's quite a boring subject actually, but I think they did a really good job and the client was also impressed with that. And I think they also did a good job to just embrace all the creative methods that DSS taught them, what I tried to teach them, and they picked it up and they used it really for their benefit and really make good advice that the client can use, hopefully.
Yeah, so hopefully something will change also.
Yeah, I really hope that they can. So I was honored to do that for them and also for you, for DSS. I think it's a cool way to work together with all these different types of people. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at their
Yep.
teaser video. Thank you so much. And I have to speed up. I only have 1 minute, but you get 2. Team Captain Kiran, can you also reflect a little bit on your experience and where are you from and what will you take home?
Okay, I'll try to keep it short. I'm from India and I came here for DSS in September. So this is also my first time in Europe, new country, new place, new people, so many new experiences. My big takeaways would be that even though we have quite a complex and a really impactful topic, we tried to keep it light and learn from each other. And the biggest takeaway for me is the community that I got here. I'm very happy to meet and work with such interesting and fun people, and they're going to be with me. So I think that's the best takeaway for me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice. And a very similar question for you. Carlo, you are an advisor for climate adaptation at TAU.
Yes.
So that's basically also your topic of the project. How do you reflect on this? Well, it's a vast topic, and we just established that. How would you then use this project to even simplify that vastness for you, for your company as well?
Yeah, I think we had a great collaboration, and I think the trainees also showed us very different perspectives on how we could challenge or approach actually the problem that we have. For instance, we were very focused on the technical side, but actually the trainees showed us you should also look very much at the user side. How are they going to approach this challenge? And they actually gave us a very good prototype, which we will develop more in the future.
That's great to hear. So we will have a look at the teaser, and then we know where to go. Okay. Thanks, everybody. We have to move quickly. Esther, where are you? I want to welcome to the stage Esther Hammelburg. She's a senior researcher and lecturer here at the University of Applied Sciences here in Amsterdam. And she will talk us through a little mini keynote on hybrid society.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Esther Hammelburg, and I work as a senior lecturer and researcher here at this faculty, and actually this semester as a very proud DTD here at Digital Society School. And what we look at Digital Society School is how digital or digitalization, digital media impact our society, right? But I think that the most important thing at this moment is not to look as much only at the digital, but to look also at the physical. And see our world as a hybrid of physical and mediated spaces or digital spaces. So we should ask ourselves the question, how do we live in this hybrid society? I'll take about 10 minutes to speak a bit about this, to argue first that we live in a hybrid world, and a bit about what that means. What is that, this hybrid? And then try to tease you a bit in the direction of what then do we need to think about, and how does this link to what we do here at DSS. Okay, we live in this hybrid world. I think if you ask people in general, if you look at how do digital media impact our daily lives, our society, you sort of sometimes get these doom scenarios of, I don't know, AI taking over our work, or maybe sort of utopian visions of a metaverse, a virtual world that we will all step into and that will solve everything for us. I think it's misleading to go into these discourses, and I think it's very important to look at this mix of digital and physical. And I will show you a couple of examples. I believe that it's also important to look at what is happening now to understand what is going to shape our future. For instance, if we want to redesign our houses, we use an app to see whether that couch fits in our home, right? So what happens here is that you have a physical space, which is your living room, a very everyday space. But there's also the space in the app. And there's actually maybe two living rooms at the same time, because there's the living room in its old shape that you're bored about, and then there's the living room maybe with flashy new colors, or with this new couch or table or whatever you want to use to improve it. We augment ourselves. We use all kinds of filters, lenses to change our faces when we go online. We can use avatars even as a step further. But here you see, you mix some of your actual physical traits with a digital surface or a digital, digital creation on it. So we change ourselves, our physical bodies, when we go into our world. We navigate through our world using phones, using these apps. Imagine going, I think many of us cannot imagine anymore how it is to go into a city we don't know without Google Maps or a similar navigation tool. Now when I go into, I don't know, Paris or Rome or wherever, I can find cafes, I can walk the streets as if I know the place. But imagine only how it was before this, right? I mean, other media, not only digital media, other media have played a role in this, of course. Mapping, for instance, has had a lot of impact also. But it mixes our physical reality, the city that we're walking around, in which we're walking around, and the digital in the sense that we know there's a cafe around the corner. We know spaces that we cannot see, and we understand them as being part of the world that we walk in. And we use physical spaces as if they were digital spaces. I mean, we do dances in places that were not made for these dances. It's not a stage or whatever, but we do dances in these physical places because we understand them to be part of the realm, the physical realm of it being appropriate to do dances there. We know, we look at the weather, we understand our day to come as being rainy or not. We navigate our bike pathing or our biking or taking public transportation based on these apps. Or we register our food or our workouts, and then you can ask the question, do these calories go into my body or into the app, right? So I think not only in the future, but already now, our reality is very much mixed. The way we understand our reality is very much a combination of these physical and digital tools. So we live in a hybrid world, and then we have to ask ourselves, what does that mean for our society? How do we want to live together in this world? It asks a lot of questions of us. One, about virtual spaces that we create that are often based on the physical reality that is already there, or the culture that is already there. So if we design these physical or these digital spaces, these virtual spaces, how do we want to make them fair and diverse? Questions like that, but also very physical results of this digital culture, right? Of these digital media, data centers where we store all this. I mean, it's very funny, all these videos, but they have to go somewhere. They also have a physical spin-off, right? So these are things that we have to think about. And at Digital Society School, we use these sustainable development goals to sort of find direction in this and to think about how we want to shape society using this mixture of physical and digital spaces. And as you saw in the projects already presented, and we'll see in the next projects that are presented here, we do think about how do we want to live, or how do we live in this hybrid society? How do we meet each other in this hybrid society? Or how do we walk in this hybrid society? How do we study in a hybrid society or play in a hybrid society? How do we debate in a hybrid society? And I think the aim for us is to shape our hybrid society in a way that we really would like it to be. Thank you.
We already welcome the teams to the stage. Team TechTech, Ruth and Jasmina. Team Hodova. Then we have Lilia and Dennis. Woo, woo. Yeah. And we have Team Libros with Veronica and Edith Oosterlo. Welcome. Let me see with whom I have the honor to start. So, Team TechTech, where are you? Okay. Yeah, there you are, Ruth. Where are you from, and how would you describe your experience? What will you take home?
My name is Ruth Abena. I am from Nigeria originally. So, first of all, talking about my takeaway from this program, I wouldn't be able to say this without first of all appreciating the management of the DSS. So if we could put our hands together for them.
Nobody ever did that, so.
Because if you look at the whole structure of the whole 5 months, you could see that there was a lot of intentionality and deliberateness that went into it, from the sprint planning and also to the jam week. When we're giving our projects, we had I think 3 weeks to work together, and at the end we all come back, and for the next sprint we're gonna have, the jam week would just lay out all of these things. So it really made our work easy. We also had a great community of help and of resources. We had Jeroen, we had Irena, we had a lot of people that we could just go and just talk to. So that was really, really major for me during this time. Thank you.
Thank you. But you can't take them home, eh?
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
Yeah.
Jasmina, how would you reflect on the collaboration? You're from Rathenau Institute?
Yes, I'm from the Rathenau Institute, and we do research on the impact of technology and science on society. I think for us the collaboration was very learnful. Yeah, so we learned a lot from working together also with Ruth, but also with Anya and the others, Julia, Samar. I think what became clear, because we heard it in the talk before, we want to shape together this new hybrid society, and one of our questions was how can we do that with the metaverse?
Yeah.
And what became clear was how all these different stakeholders in this whole process have their own logic in this. So what we have seen from the start was how to come together with all these different kinds of views on the development of metaverse, but also trying to understand what the metaverse is. And we wanted to have the citizens' voice involve and engage in this discussion in how to shape this world of metaverse. So, and what we are taking away, and we're already working with that, is really the method of trying to create it together, and with the discussions in between and coming together to understanding.
So you will adopt part of the process
Yes,
that you have
actually
experienced.
we are already. Wouter is so enthusiastic.
Good. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So thank you.
And if you need us again, then we're here. Eh? Thank you, Jasmina. So, well, it's a bit boring, but I have the same question for you, Lilia. Where are you from, and where will you take this experience home?
Hi everyone, my name is Lilia. I'm from Kazan, which is a very nice city in Russia. For me, I would say the biggest thing is that I became close to the sustainability. For me, it's like a real passion to do something sustainable. And this is about theme and about the process itself. I think for me, very important to learn to trust the process, because it was very raw from the beginning. I mean, in the beginning, but then we started to do things together. I realized that what network power is so strong. And somehow, when you work together, you just discover some new things which like connect you with everyone else. And for me, it's like the best experience I ever had to just trust the process. And I'm so thankful to all my team, and because we learned to trust each other during the process, and I definitely will use and remember this experience very well. So thank you so much.
Dennis Hoenkamp, you're from NDA. How would you translate that to English?
Yeah, it's a part of the Dutch Research Council.
Yeah.
So we are funding research in the Netherlands, and especially with this project, we gave them the problem of climate change and how to make it smaller to adjust your behavior of people, and then we make it, like I said, we began with which project very, very big, and then at the end we came up, okay, students. So during the project it became smaller and smaller, because the problem of climate change is too big to solve it like in 6 months. But at the end they came up with a good solution, and we already discussed to see, can we do the prototype over here at the HVA? I said, well, of course, if the HVA is willing to do so, and also especially because you will see it in the beginning of the room. Please listen to them and what the project is about. But I think it really can work to a small start of a better world, a better climate, and starting with the students over here. Then,
Cool. And now I decided to, you missed the clips, but I decided to actually play them all at once now. It's easier. But thanks, Dennis.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You told, where are you at again?
In the beginning.
In the beginning,
of the room, the green coin.
Cool. Thank you so much. Then moving over to Team Libros. You're not Veronica?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Instead of Veronica.
So can you introduce yourself? From where you're from?
Yeah, I'm Faize, and I'm originally from Iran, and I'm representative of the Libros team. And what was the question? My take? What order I take? Yeah, yeah. My background actually was software development, and I was always working on solutions and making programming and developing solutions. Here the thing was that how we can design a desirable solution from different perspectives, and the thing was that we should have go to our end users and assess their real needs, and to design a product that would be desirable and feasible enough, and for our end users to be used in the future. And this was, I guess, for me, it was the most important thing that I learned during the last 5 months. And also, this environment was the most diverse environment, both culturally and professionally, I've ever had been. And it was really a good experience being here, part of as a trainee at DSS. Yeah.
And Iris Oosterlo, welcome. You're projectleider at Online Study Spaces.
Yes.
That's what the project is about. How do you reflect on this collaboration?
Well, this is the second year we had a collaboration, and we found out that it's quite a difficult project for the trainees, because we try to combine students in the library from the UvA offline and online. So we have online study spaces. But we are in teams, so we are very strict in what apps can be used and what technology can be used. And we found out that is quite difficult to work with, also because Teams itself is quite new at the UvA, so we are discovering all the apps, how it works. And I think the team was very self-sufficient, they were very clever, and yeah, they really worked good together. And I'm really proud of what they made. Yeah.
Thank you. Big round of applause. And as promised, I have to admit I forgot the clips. We're going to play them in the same order as the interview. So let's see. That we first had Team Tech Tech, then we have Hodova, and then we have Libros. the next teams, Team Data Shoes with Mariam and Troy Nachtigal. We have Team Diva with Sahar and Minayol. Yes. And you have to decide how to sit because you can sit here. And then we have Team Keep It, A between brackets, live. You're going, yeah? So Arash and Geert-Jan from the VPRO. Welcome. So whom to start with? And I have to do it in order because the clips are here. So I'll start with Mariam. Okay. How was your experience? Where are you from and where are you taking this experience home?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So hello everyone. I'm Mariam. I'm from Iran. And I need to say, okay, I had a wonderful journey here because the entire process and also our brief was very relevant for me because I studied fashion and our project was also about fashion. So, you know, I was so lucky to hear about this traineeship exactly the day before it gets started. I mean, 31st August. Oh. And working within this diverse team and being around these diverse people with different cultures and background and experiences helped me to improve my soft skills like team working, like time management, adaptability, because we had to be flexible all the time and change the direction. And
yes, we apologize for that.
Yeah, it was sometimes it was like overwhelming, but it was so good. Yeah. And at the end, I can say I now I know myself and some of my skills better than before, and it helped me for the next step. I mean, to find a job. And thank you. DSS team.
Just noted, she's looking for a job then.
Yeah, if you have any contracts, just please.
Yeah, I haven't mentioned that, but this is all talent here. Yeah. Troy, you're professor of fashion technology here at the university.
Yes.
Of course, you're close to us, but at the same time, you can also have an observative eye. How would you then observe the collaboration? Which is your second or third already?
This is my second.
Yeah.
It was challenging this year, which is always nice.
Yeah.
In the sense that there are different ideas of research coming around from all around the world. What does it mean to do research? And where I very much thought we were going to be doing product, we ended up in storytelling. And it's really nice that we're in the Faculty of Digital Media and Creative Industries. And where I was looking at creative industries, we ended up in media industries. And I'm very proud of the project. It's just amazing how they went a different direction at a certain point, and it was better, and it was really, really beautiful. So happy with it.
Along.
Yeah, we came along with
important.
it. Well, but because it was actually answering a new question that had come up during the time that we were in the project. So that adaptability was fantastic.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. And we're going to look at your video. Yeah, the order is different. Where are you from again, and how would you describe your experience, which hopefully you take
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what are the chances, huh? We are all from Iran, so... Yeah.
It's a takeover.
Yeah.
Diversity no more.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also from Iran. What would I take home from DSS? It's a very hard question, because I would say a lot of things. DSS is like the utopia of peer learning. It's a best complex of like different people with different backgrounds, and everybody is very eager to help you if you're looking to learn, let's say. I would say there may be few things that you can't learn here. Like a lot of people with different backgrounds from all around the world. But for me personally, the experience here, what would I take with myself in my professional journey would to, like, I learned here how to redesign a process, let's say, because it's a very rare experience, I would say, finding a project and building it from scratch, because wherever you go, it's already something there, and then you'll be a part of a team developing it, and then there are few people that are lucky enough, let's say, living as short as it is, living a full life cycle of a project from research, building a prototype, and developing it. So I would say learning how to design a process, or transforming it.
Wonderful. Thank
Yep.
you. Yeah. Now you have to go over that, Geert-Jan. So Geert-Jan from VPRO, how would you describe the collaboration and what will you take with you?
Well, let me start by saying that I was extremely impressed by the quality of the work. From the outset, it was a pretty difficult assignment for them, coming into the Netherlands, not being familiar with the background of VPRO Tegenlicht, Backlight. Our assignment was challenging. It was sort of hybrid challenge also. It's reflected in the theme of keeping conversations live or alive. So that, and for me the learning was just to keep on challenging your assumptions. Having people come in and look at your assignments, the whole process that you're already sort of involved in, and bringing in new perspectives and confronting you with your own assumptions, and then redesign the whole process, like Arash said, from the start, was great. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, this is. I'm just so happy that you take this with you. Thank you so much. Next team is the DIVA, and your partners are from a European Union project, and they're all abroad, so they're not here. So you're both trainees from the team. For both of you, where are you from? Well, you know where.
I'm from Iran.
What do you bring home? What is the experience?
Well, let's just say it's been a great experience. I've had so much fun here. I've met so many incredible people who have helped me just make myself at home in a completely new country where I have no family. And I'm definitely going to keep in touch with all of them. I would say the main thing I learned here was teamwork. That's something that I had been missing in my education. Just working with people from different backgrounds, different working styles, that was very interesting. And I would say I'm a better team player now.
That's nice. Let's see if we can corroborate that story with you. Because you're a team member. No, it's all about you now. Where are you from and what would be your
Hi,
experience?
I'm Minail and I'm from Pakistan. So for me, it was quite different because I'm from a fashion background field and I've never worked with people from different backgrounds before. So adjusting with the team, with people coming from accounting, from computer sciences was tough. But in the end, it was really a perfect fit for me. I learned a great deal from them and also from educational experts and game designers. So it was amazing.
Can you say one small thing about the partners that you work with? Because it was a big consortium of European partners.
Yes, so we had an immense opportunity to work with University of Barcelona, Iceland, Romania, and HVA. And we had a multiplier event, so they flew all the way from there for our event, and it was great.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a great result also. Thanks so much. Now we have to look at the video still, huh? So we have, I think, 2 left.
Operator.
Can you connect me with someone who could help with the assessment of the practical skills of my student teachers remotely?
Today is your lucky day. Let me introduce you to Diva.
Diva?
Digital evaluation of students' practical skills in teacher education, time management, body language, using digital tools, gamification, augmented reality.
Join Team Diva 2.0 at the showcase on the 18th of January 2023 at the Digital Society School.
I'll be there. So should you.
Hoe was dat? We have one final speaker. I'm not seeing him anymore. He was just here. Martijn, yeah, he wanted the grand entrance. There he is, Martijn de Waal. So I'll just say one final thing before I give it to you. Martijn is professor of civic interaction design here at the university. And what he will do is reflect on the projects and also give it a little bit of a context from his perspective. Welcome, Martijn.
Yeah, thank you. Well, anyways, it's great to be here, and I also had the privilege of getting a sneak preview of all the projects before you guys came in, and it was quite exciting to see all those projects. What I'd like to do here right now is in 5 or 6 minutes do the Recast recap. And what is that? Recast is actually a new network that me and Gijs Goutjes, also from the Digital Society School, started because we were thinking that it would be so great to have the discussions that we were having on places like here today about how do we design the future, right? How do we design transformations? Or that we had recently at our Society 5.0 conference. You know, how can we do that all year long? And if we can go to the next slide. Yeah, I mean, this was just like, you know, at like an hour ago. And I think really this is what we were discussing, right? We are really serious about transformation, but we're also here about to have fun. And I think I also really saw that in all the presentations and all in the projects. And if we can go to the next slide, because this is us having fun, thinking about all the transformations. But if I can go to the next slide. I think this was the question that really came up in many of the projects, right? How is it that we want to live, dance, work, debate together in a hybrid society, and how can we actually shape it together? And if we can go to the next slide. The only thing is, of course, that we cannot do it in 6 months, right? All the challenges that have been thrown at you, all of you guys, are way too big to tackle in all these 6 months. So we need to make them smaller. And I think you did a really excellent job in doing that. And if we can go to the next slide. And that's actually also what we try to do at Recast, right? We have all these big challenges, but what we need to do is to think of them in 3 different levels. At least that's what we try to do when we discuss them with our audience in our bi-weekly newsletter and in events that we're organizing. So on the one hand, you could see a cast is sort of a new view on the world, a new story. Like so many of the projects today were about creating those new stories on sort of a meta level. What is the vision or the future that we want to work towards to? We can also understand the cast as sort of the roles that are shifting, right? The roles of designers, of people in policy, people in all kinds of places like the libraries. They are changing also because of these new technologies, and in these transformations they have new roles. So that's also a level that we can look at. And the last one, you can also understand the cast as a template, right? A mold, something that you shape once and then you can sort of start reproducing it in other places. And I think many of the projects that we've seen here are examples of that. And I try to sort of briefly group them according to this logic. So if we can go to the next slide. So maybe skip this one. This is all the projects that we've been seeing today. And if we can go to the next slide. Then I think these 3 projects really try to bring out new stories about how we can sort of engage with the future. the hybrid democracy, tech citizenship, try to do that by introducing an experience in which we can experience different aspects of the metaverse and virtual reality, and it helps us to understand what it is and become more informed when we try to understand or want to become part of the debate about virtual reality. The Data Shoe Stories does it on a very different level, right? It helps us to create new stories, to connect differently with the fashion, the stuff that we're wearing. We become more aware of them. It helps us to shape an emotional relationship with our shoes in this case. And hopefully the idea that they presented to me was that helps us also to keep them longer and become more sustainable. And I think also the project about the climate conversation really tried to do that, right? Take this really big topic and making it small so we can envision it in different ways. And if we can go to the next slide. Then I think I found these two at the level of thinking about new roles or new repertoires that are emerging for professionals. I think the one about citizen science in the library is really about that, right? Libraries used to be places where you lend books, but now they become places where new information is also created, stored, exchanged, debated, and which can become a central hub in citizen science projects, right? So that means a new role, not only new prototypes, but also new roles for the people working in the libraries. And I think also the project about Tegenlicht is very much sort of in that area where journalists, of course, used to be the ones, they went out to the world, they would tell the story to the audience, but now they engage communities around the country to become part of the discussion of that story. And how do you do that? How do you design a process like that? What are the steps? What are the roles and the responsibilities of the professional journalists, the volunteers in the different cities? How can you organize? And I think that's some of those questions were really at the core of that project and help us think about in that way. And then if we can go to the next one, I think some of the other projects were really at more of the level of sort of future prototypes that help us to deal with the transformation in new ways. So reimagining sports, helping kids who are playing computer games, FIFA all day. I have 2 kids in that age myself, so I know I'm very well familiar with this problem space. How can we sort of invite them to go outside and take some of the activity from the in-game world to the pitches outside? Of course, also the project about the teachers, sort of how can we help teachers using new technologies to have teachers take their new roles. The online study space, right? How can we help students with a new tool who are sometimes new in the city or in the country to not only find a place where they can study, but also a place where they can socialize with people, the like-minded people, and start exchanging information. And the last one, the Climate Adaptation Policy Monitor. I think I had a demonstration over there near the bar, which provides also, again, professionals with a new tool through which they can monitor all kinds of initiatives that are usually sort of all over the place and see them all together and get a better understanding of how all those small projects are actually creating or contributing to the climate adaptation policy. So I think, and I'm just going to leave it at there because I really encourage you all to sort of go out and see all those projects for yourself. I think that for me it was a really great examples of this notion of recast, new visions, new roles, new prototypes that help us not only have fun, that's certainly we did that today, but also to transform the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Martijn. This is very impressive. I mean, you did this in just half an hour, well, full hour? Very impressive. I would love to multiply you now and that everybody can have Martijn to actually go around and explain everything. This is really wonderful. It's time for drinks, as Martijn already mentioned. We should enjoy now and also be very serious about meeting each other here around the prototypes that we created that are actually pieces of puzzles that are about transformation. So they are just seeds that were planted both in the trainees, as you heard, and in the partnerships. And I'm very proud of that. I would love to have a big round of applause for everybody who worked so hard in the past 5.5, 6 months. It just feels very, very nice to always accomplish something like this every 6 months. I mean, it's like a machine. Go out and enjoy. See you next time. Thank you so much.